I'm looking at the camera. Real sorry. That's probably a terrible angle.
Up's definitely not the egg.
Well, yeah, but can you like see my double chin?
No, your chin's great.
Great. What was I just? Oh, the ACH.
What up, Investor Nation? I'm here with Brittany Croce, the head of servicing and draws management at IFC. And we're excited to kick off some questions around the amazing topic of servicing and draws. So, Britt, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. Happy to have you. Love her energy. You guys might also know her as a client specialist or client,
Executor. Yeah. Anybody that's done loans with us has spoken to me at some point.
All right, Britt. What happens after you close a loan in IF1 cities?
So depending on whether it's a bridge loan, new construction, or a DSCR loan, the process is a little bit different. With the bridge new construction stuff, we get it boarded to a servicer immediately. You have a portal, a login. We notify you by email. This is how you log in. You have access to all your loan documents. You can see all your draws, your payments, everything. On the DSCR side, it takes a little bit longer. So probably within the first 2-3 months, you'll have a new servicer. Again, as soon as we get that information, we email you. This is your new servicer information. You log into your portal, access to everything. We do still remain the point of contact, like for any questions, concerns, issues. New construction bridge side, we really run the show with you. We don't require that you reach out to the servicer. DSCR stuff, you do have to have some communication with the servicer just because it's just how it works. Everything's ported to a servicer. You have log into the portal. You can see everything. And then you just come to me when you have a problem. If you have a problem, hopefully you don't have a problem.
Sometimes servicing is like debating the existence in the industry. And sometimes there's surely problems. How do you think a borrower can reduce the friction of the service transfer? What does iFunds do to mitigate some of those pain points?
Right. So we work very closely with the servicers every day, all day, to make sure that they have all the loan documents, to make sure everything's set up correctly, to make sure we do require that we set up an ACH for the ease of the borrower, to make sure that there's no payments missed, no late fees accrued. It just makes the process a lot easier. So yeah, we set the ACH up, make sure there's no missed payments. And again, if there is anything that goes wrong, we're great with our contacts with the servicers to make sure that it gets corrected. And I think that's the most important thing, is because you're not naive to think that there won't be issues. It's how quickly you can get them resolved and make the process better.
What do we see as the biggest pain points around draws and servicing? It seems to be a hot topic in 26. And I know we're doing a lot of stuff technology-wise to improve the UI and the interface and take some pressure off folks like Brittany and her team.
Yeah.
But what do you see as the pain points? How much is lender driven versus the regulations with the servicers versus potentially borrowers not showing up prepared?
Starting on the borrower's side, I think it's extremely important. You just have to keep the loans in good standing. And by good standing, I mean, keep your payments current, right? Taxes, insurance, that's the borrower's responsibility to just make sure that they're in place and current and they're made on time. We'll get into the next question, but the maturity stuff. So when your loan's coming up on maturity, if you need an extension, we get you the extension that you need. We offer a 3-month extension that's in your loan docs. So we can get that taken care of ahead of time. So as long as you keep those things in good standing, the process goes so smooth. Obviously, we want them to finish the project just as much as they want to finish the project. So we work quickly. We get them their funds quickly. So yeah, as long as the loan's in good standing, that's great. From a servicer perspective.
Let me add one comment, because I work a lot with Britt. I watch Britt from a distance, and one of the things I see is like you got to pay attention to the payments, but also if you're coming up on maturity, you got to communicate as a borrower to your lender, right?
Yes.
And the lender will work with the servicer and you to fix the problem. Where the problems arise that I see is when the borrower wants to not have an open, transparent conversation. And now we're at the 11th hour, and now the lender sucks because we don't have a VOM in time, or the extension's not right, or there's change orders at the last minute that no one knew about. So I think as the owner looking in, I would say you got to communicate with your lender.
Yes.
And the more you communicate with your lender, the easier it is for us to solve problems. We actually don't hate you. We actually want you to do really, really, really well, right? Our goal is to make you money, but if you don't communicate with us, it's pretty hard to do that, right?
Correct.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes. So we are extremely proactive in like as a company on reaching out. We will let you know 90 days before your maturity date, like, hey, reminder, you're coming up on maturity. What are you doing? 60 days before, hey, you're coming up on maturity. What are you doing? 30 days before, hey, you're coming up on maturity. What are you doing? And we document, all of that stuff. And listen, things change, right? You plan on selling, the market tanked, it just doesn't always work out that way. Now you got to pivot, right? And you're refinancing. So we're very good at understanding those types of things. But yeah, as long as you stay ahead of the communication, we need time. We can't turn a payoff around in a day.
For sure.
It's just not feasible. I mean, I have done it, but it's not ideal.
And then when you're managing multiple lenders, and every borrower should have multiple lenders, they all have all their eggs in one basket, and you're going to have multiple portals. But our team's here to help facilitate through that portal, right? Everybody's like, oh, retain servicing. Everybody sells against IF1 cities because we don't retain servicing. We don't retain servicing because the servicers actually do this better than us.
Right.
And so what we can do is help facilitate that process.
Right. That is their business. Their business is servicing.
Our business is to find the most cost-effective capital for you. Their business is to service the loans. And we do our best to be a great intermediary. And I think Brittany does it better than most of the industry, if not the best. But I'm a little biased. All right.
Thank you.
On to the next question. How do extensions work? So I know we reach out 30, 60, 90. Our LOs are also talking to these folks, our borrowers.
Yes.
How do the extensions work?
Right. So again, we don't think, nothing's going to be 100% of the time, right? So we make room for that 3-month extension that they're granted on their loan docs. I do have the conversation like, listen, if you're only 50% complete the project, 3 months is not going to give you much time. So we'll give you the 3-month extension, but let's talk to one of the LOs about getting this refinanced so you have the full 12 months and you're not spending a ton of money on extension fees, right? So if you think it's going to take 6, 9, another 12 months, don't keep racking up the extension fees, just get a new loan. But as far as the extension process, again, we're reaching out on maturities. Do you need an extension? We're pretty lenient on, give me some time to see if I can get this under contract. I may not need the extension. So we give you up until the maturity month to kind of make that decision before you start accruing fees and stuff like that. So once you decide on the extension, we will send you out an agreement. You sign it through DocuSign, you send it back, and we take care of the rest. And then we extend your maturity date. Interest payments are still due, I will say, because a lot of people think that those get deferred, but the fee itself, we can defer to the payoff. So you're not coming out of pocket with that cost.
So we're trying to be solution focused.
Yes.
What happens to borrowers, at least what Brittany and I see, is when they don't make a decision, we pass maturity. Now payments are not made. Default interest starts clicking.
Yeah.
Can't get a solution because you didn't sign either an extension or work with your loan officer to get a refinance.
Correct.
Now the fees are deteriorating your profits at a rapid pace. And then you're frustrated with us 6 months down the line because you got $80,000 in default interest, and then we're fighting with our institutional capital to get those removed, putting tension between us, which hurts the borrower because we can't then go get you cheap cost of capital because we don't have performance on the portfolio. And it all goes back to communication with your servicing team and your LOs to fix this challenge. The word of the day, communicate. Proactively. Please. Britt, we love having you. Thank you for all you do for IF1 Cities.
Happy to be
We'll
here.
see you next time.
Do it all.